If you have a story to share, tell us. How are you going to leave your mark?
This is Leave Your Mark. I'm Vince Cortese, and today's guest is Courtney Durante. She is the mother of Lilli, a 4-year-old child with a benign tumor on her optic nerve. Through this suffering, she and Lilli have made a courageous and brilliant approach to healing. I would like to welcome Courtney and Lilli to today's program. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
I'm excited to talk to you because this is a story that needs to be known.
Thank you for having us. We're very excited.
You're quite welcome. What I want to do is you're a Pittsburgh native. You grew up in urban area. You're a product of parents who married for 35 years. You have a twin sister and a younger sister. Your education was at Norman High School and Carlow College, where you went on to get a master's in business. And you went on, you're now married with your husband over 11 years. And
Yep.
You're a bank manager, and Robert's a printer. And you have 2 children, Lilli and Mason. Now, this is a window of time in which is so precious in your life when the kids are little like this. And as life's progressing, could you kind of take me from the beginning portion of when you found out that Lilli had this problem?
Sure. So we first found out that Lilli had an optic pathway glioma when she was 4 years old. That was December of 2018. She actually woke up one morning and her left eye was severely crossed. Everything was perfectly normal before that moment. There was no sign, no indication that anything was going on. So it really took us off guard. It really threw us off. So following that day, she had multiple doctor's appointments with her pediatrician, with an ophthalmologist, a neurologist, an MRI. And that's when we discovered that she had this tumor.
As a parent of a child that age, what is going through yours and Robert's mind when you're hearing this information?
There's just so much, I think, that goes on in your mind when you receive news like that. I mean, from that point forward, everything changes. And I just think we were so overwhelmed and so scared and afraid of the unknown. We didn't know what to expect. We didn't know what the next steps were or anything. So I think it's just really, it's hard to put into words, how you feel in that moment or what you think in that moment, because you're running minute by minute. You're just trying to figure out, what's next.
So with her diagnosis, how soon did you decide to get on with treatments?
So she ended up, we decided to start with treatment in February of 2019. That was shortly after a visit with a neuro-ophthalmologist where it was recommended that she receive chemotherapy to treat the tumor. They indicated that it was actively growing, and the more that it grew, the more damage it would cause to her optic nerve, which could eventually lead to blindness.
Now, in that case, so with its growing, were they calling it metastasizing, or were they just saying it was growing and it was still a non-cancerous tumor?
Yeah, so it's still considered a benign tumor. So there aren't any concerns about it metastasizing. However, the concern really is around, as it grows, it's going to damage the optic nerve. That's the major concern. And once the damage to the optic nerve is done, there's really not a whole lot you can do about it. Once the damage is done, it's done. So all we can do is prevent any more damage moving forward.
So this in a way, it sort of makes it an easier decision for you as to what to do, knowing that kind of information there. So you take action and you get her in there. So what was the number of treatments that she would undergo? She looks great there in the picture. I'm enjoying watching her.
She had 52 weekly treatments.
Or every week for a year?
Every week for a year. We went every Friday. She started off on one protocol, which did allow for some breaks a couple of different weeks, but she had an allergic reaction to that drug. So we had to switch to a new protocol. And when we switched to the new protocol, it was weekly. So I think overall she, between weeks where she missed counts or weeks that were missed, she had 48 treatments, I believe, total.
Okay, so
was like 49.
You think it was 49?
She has 49 outfits. She does.
She has 130 different princess outfits.
She is a princess.
Yeah, I have them. I actually have a few of them that I brought to my Girl Scout camp outside in my room.
You know, in a little bit, I would like for you to share some of those with us if you would.
I have a very pretty one that I wear to my last appointment.
Okay, maybe we'll get lucky enough to see that one.
I don't know if I know where it is though.
Okay, maybe we won't.
I have dresses everywhere.
That's great. Now, so did she end up changing the medication? That only happened once or twice, and then she settled in on one that worked, or?
It only happened one time, just after her allergic reaction, and her tumor's been stable ever since. So right now she has MRIs we just moved to MRIs every 4 months. So as long as everything remains stable, she won't have to go back on chemotherapy. These tumors are known to grow back. They tend to be difficult to remain stable. So fingers crossed that, the chemo helped get her over these years when it's prime time for these types of tumors to grow, which is right around the age she's at now.
So with going through this process now, the idea of, and maybe we can have her share it with us, is you're getting ready to take her to her first treatment. You're all queued up, and you have a moment where she comes to you and she asks something of you. And what was that?
What was that? Do you remember what you wanted to do your first appointment?
If I could wear princess dresses until chemo was over.
That's a great idea. Now, how did you come up with that? What made you think that?
I don't know.
It just came across.
It just kind of happened.
It was just kind of happened. It was just a moment. So then what was the first dress that you wore? Do you remember?
I think it was my bell.
It was your bell dress.
Oh, it's a good choice.
My fluffy one where we sat down and we go.
Yep, she has a big bell dress with a hoop skirt.
And every time I sat down on a chair like this on my on a chair, it would go up over my head.
So she wore this big bell dress that has this hoop skirt at one of her first appointments, and just got a lot of attention, and it really made her entire care team smile. It made them smile. It brought a lot of happiness and joy.
She has such a sweet energy, and coming in dressed up like that, and having seen the pictures of her, I thought it was just amazing. So in this process now, in her idea, you have this like moment where it's not about the pain and suffering. It turned into something else. Could you kind of describe or take me through how it wasn't this drudgery and this incredible suffering and pain for her? This almost magically turned into something that was fun to do, which is hard to believe.
Yeah, it is very hard to believe. Even now, what do you tell me about children's? What do you?
I always want to wear princess dresses.
Every time you go? And what else that you want to?
I want to wear crowns.
You want to wear crowns?
She's upgrading.
Leave your mark with your host, Vince Cortese. Inspiring the world, one guest at a time.
Part of what the princess dresses did is it gave her that courage and that strength in it, and it made going to children's exciting, because everybody from the moment we walked in the door was so excited to see these giant princess dresses. And they were light up dresses. They were motion activated. Some of them sang.
Oh,
Some of them
wow.
were so big they didn't fit through the door.
I kind of like I never wear a princess dress that I already wear.
Oh, so you don't wear the same dress over? Just one
Nope.
time and that's it?
She never repeated.
Wow, that's
No,
really
so like
impressive.
I kept getting sending princess dresses. I kept getting princess dresses. I just kept getting them.
So you were having people send you princess dresses?
Yep. So Children's published a story in May. May is Brain Tumor Awareness Month, so they shared her story in May. And once they posted their story on Facebook, her story kind of went viral. So it's if you Google her name, you'll find her story is really shared all over the country and all over the world. And once that happened, people just started, friends and family started sending us costumes. We also had random strangers would send costumes and crowns to her doctor at Children's.
Oh, that's great.
Because the hospital's address and send it addressed to her or addressed to her doctor.
Now,
So we ended
she's
up
been
with
on television, and she's been in a number of news paper articles and things like that. This has now spawned your costumesforcourage.org. So
Yes.
Can you share a little bit about that with me?
Sure. So hold on one second, Mason. So
we might have to include Mason in on this.
Mason, go get dressed.
Include me.
Yes, go get dressed.
Put a
So you
shirt
can
on already.
lazy rainy day in Pittsburgh. So Costumes for Courage was really inspired by Lilli's journey. So we saw how excited she got when we received costumes and in the mail, and we saw how excited it made her to wear these costumes to her appointments. I mean, it really turned a bad situation into, something just a little bit easier for her. It made her look
Mommy,
forward to her.
Can I go get one of my dresses?
Sure. It made her look forward to her. I'm sorry, they're hiding now.
They're what, 7 and 9?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's what it happened.
Yeah. So, all right, let me try that again. So, Costumes for Courage was founded and inspired by Lilli because we saw how much the costumes helped her. We saw, and it made it easier on us too, because it wasn't hard on her. So it made it easier on our family, and everybody was so excited to see what dress she's wearing next. So we wanted to share that joy. We wanted to spread that around. So we founded Costumes for Courage because by sending a kid a costume and by letting them be somebody else, for a couple minutes or for a little bit, it really can give them the courage and the strength they need, or that extra little push to get through some of their treatments.
What's so amazing to me is even listening to her right there, she was completely oblivious to any kind of pain or suffering. And,
she really was.
And looking at her eye after seeing some of the pictures, she looks normal, which is fantastic.
Yep.
So can you take me through the little bit of the surgery she had to go through to straighten her eye out? What happened there?
Yeah, so in August of 2020, last year, she had to have eye muscle surgery, which basically they move the muscles on your eye and it pulls it straight.
That's one of my clowns.
He's the king.
This is a real clown. This is a real clown.
Oh, this is a real crown, she's saying.
Oh, that's a beauty.
It's actually heavy though.
It's heavy, yeah. Real crowns are heavy.
Put on the princess dress I have.
Okay, yeah. Can we see it?
Yeah,
Can I put it on?
Yeah, go back the hall.
I might need.
Don't pull those out now.
I might need a little bit of help.
So now where I want to see the dresses, we're gonna have to kind of peel back to that. So you created costumes for cancer, and you were telling me, all of you are involved in extended family as well. So can you share with me how the organization has come together, and you have a Facebook page and you got a following and news
Yep.
media and everything? Like the whole thing just kind of blew up, and I'm sure that's the last thing you thought would happen. So this is amazing how these types of things can occur and change our lives in such a great way. So
Yeah. We do have a set of founders. There's four of us total. It's myself, it's my sister and her husband, and then it's a friend of ours who we actually met through Lilli's treatment. And okay.
Can you help me?
I will in a minute.
No, get it
he
now.
needs help getting dressed.
Yeah, can I go grab her dress down?
Yeah, go
I'll
ahead.
be right back.
Yeah, go ahead. That's funny.
If you have a story to share, tell us, how are you going to leave your mark? We want you to be our guest. Contact us. Leave your mark with our host, Vince Cortese.
So this is exciting. So I mean, there's a lot of joy and laughter and things going on, all that are great for healing. And
Yes.
the way that you've have been stable in your courage and providing a platform for this kind of courage and peace to happen, it's amazing to me.
Thank you.
And it's not surprising why so many people, when they would see this, whether it's on the internet, television, or whatever, they're going to be drawn in, because when you see the pictures of her, she's absolutely adorable. It's so
Thank
little,
you.
and the poor thing, her eyes are all over the place. When you realize what's going on, you begin to start cheering for her. So I do have a few interesting questions that I like to ask, and this is kind of interesting because you're experiencing this through your daughter, and how you have set things up that's going to play through you. So
Yeah.
if you were to have a billboard, what would it say on it?
Oh wow.
You can think about it for a second.
I'm gonna
If
have
you
to
had a
think about
billboard, what would it say on it?
it. I think I don't know what I would have it say, but I think, oh gosh, I have no idea.
All right, we can come back to that one.
That's a tough
this,
one.
In this scenario that has played out, what do you think has been, of all the wonderful things that are going on, the biggest accomplishment in this whole experience?
For me, the biggest accomplishment comes when we receive feedback from the children that we send costumes to. So we do ask if they'd be willing to share pictures, and we just get sometimes just the cutest pictures and the best comments ever. One little girl just wore her superhero outfit to ring the bell for her final treatment. One little boy, he got a Paw Patrol outfit, and his mom messaged us and said that he put it on and said, "I don't have to be afraid of my shots anymore. I'm a tough puppy." So things like that are really what, what drives us, and really what it's multiple moments. It's not just one. It's hearing the stories and seeing the joy that, these costumes are bringing.
Well,
these kids.
There's so much going on, because you're going through this with your child. And I mean, words can't describe the emotional attachment that parents have to their children.
Mhm.
And then to feel this where it's life-threatening or so to dramatic, it's like there's things as a child she's learning about herself she'll probably take for a lifetime. But what are the things you're learning as a parent and going through this with your husband and your family? What have you learned about yourself?
Yeah, I think part of what you have to learn is, that's something that you always think, and you always have to, I guess you have to always look at the positive. You always have to think of what are the positive situations out of it. And because somebody is always worse off. So in terms of friends of ours and, what I've seen that other children go through, I consider us lucky, which is going to sound crazy to anybody else, but I consider us lucky that, everything went so well, and she's doing so well now. And part of it too is just, taking everything in stride, living moment by moment, because when you're faced with a situation like this, you really have to step back and think about it. And it's how you portray it. Like if I portrayed it like she was always sick or, going through something drastic, then that's what she would think. So, I always try to tell her, you get to go to children's tomorrow. You get to go to chemo rather than you have to go.
Yeah, that's a
because
big
I wanted,
difference
and I
in a
had to keep
mindset.
as positive as I could because I needed her to not be scared.
Well, her courage rolls off too. Now, something you might not think is how it rolls off on her brother. He's watching his sister go through this. How much of it does he understand? And then watching her like march right through it with joy. He's having an incredible experience himself, and not probably won't realize that for years to come.
Yeah, and I think too, the other thing to note is one of the things that he struggled with is Lilli was getting sent princess dresses all of the time, and getting packages in the mail, but he didn't always get something. And at the time he was young, so it made it hard. So one of the things that we do for Costumes for Courage is we know that siblings need courage too. I will. This impacts the entire family. So we send costumes to the siblings as well.
That's beautiful. That's
because we know that they need just as much courage as the child facing the challenging medical situation.
You can tell those two are very close. Look at this. Okay.
Yes, they are very close.
Are we ready for a fashion show here? Is that what's going to happen?
You're going to have to come over here, Lilli.
Yes, you are.
I'm going to move your chair.
She is very right for you. Mason, can you please?
Oh, okay.
Oh, how beautiful. She's got a light up dress. You look beautiful. Wow. I love it.
It is from the Prince and the Nutcracker, from the Princess and the Nutcracker. Disney literally sent it to her.
They did?
Yeah, we got a little note on the front that only 1,000 of these were made, and Disney was so inspired by their cities. It lights up. Look. At least that's pretty sure what it is.
Yeah, not a true story, but that's okay.
Look at that.
It was some old Disney associate.
You look
Disney did send her a basket. Yeah.
So how do you feel in that dress?
I actually love this dress. I don't know if I ever wear this.
You did? You wore it on your Proud to Be from Pittsburgh segment.
Well, she's turned into a viral star, unintentional. Just her courage and her being herself. She turned out to something special. That's great. Look at that.
She looked at me. She looked at me when she was in the middle of treatment. She was 5. She goes, one morning, she was sitting on the couch. She goes, Mom, how does it feel? I'm like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? She's like, how does it feel to know somebody famous?
I didn't say
yes, you
You're
did.
young enough to pick up on that, huh? That's wonderful.
In my hair.
Connect with us on LinkedIn. Be our friend on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram. You are listening to Vince Cortese. We just want you to leave your mark.
How would you like for people to remember your courage and what you did in your moment of suffering and pain?
I think what I would like people to think and to know or to remember is, at the end of the day, sometimes you don't have a choice for the things that you have to face, right, in life. So you just have to face it. You have to face it head on, and you have to think of the positives. And I think that it's very easy to allow yourself to spiral or to get into a negative space. But thinking about the positives and thinking about what can you do to make it easier on your child and on your family? That's what I would think I would like people to remember, that that's just, you do what you have to do, and it really does make a difference.
Help me.
I don't think it crosses your mind as a mom that,
Mason,
as people are watching your daughter and they're seeing your behavior, that you're inspiring people just by being yourself. And, you might not be the celebrity your daughter is on one front, but you're touching people's hearts in another, and you're providing an approach that if they have the same situations and that fear, you're giving them the blueprint of how to behave and where to keep their minds so that they keep their peace.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's do this. Does she have another outfit on already?
She wants one more. Mason would like to say something if he's
okay,
allowed.
Mason, what do you got to say, champ?
Well, every time Lilli went on every Friday, every minute gave me more anxiety.
It did. That's a question we might need to investigate. And how were you getting anxiety from that?
I don't know. It's just that my sister was at the hospital without me protecting her, and I was very, 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 very scared.
Oh, they are close. So how did you feel like you were going to protect her?
I just watch over her.
That's a good brother. I love you for that. You're a good man.
I had a lot of anxiety during that time, during that 2-year period. 2 year?
Yeah. And now you're glad it's over, huh?
Yes.
You get back to life and get into your things.
Yes. I was always in my things. I was just anxiety felt when I did that.
Oh man. This is interesting because you don't think the children that age have anxiety, and he's expressing himself like an adult there. So, he went through it too.
Yep. Yep. And that's part of too why
I hope we're getting her second outfit, but I'll be right back.
He talks like he's 40.
No, I mean, he's extremely mature. That was very impressive right there, what he had to say.
Yeah.
Kids are awesome. They have so much going on, you don't know.
Yeah.
How's it going, Mason? Is she getting ready back there?
Yeah, she's nearly done.
She's nearly ready.
And that's part of why too, when we were determining how we were going to set up Costumes for Courage, that's why we decided that we need to send them to siblings as well, because
Mommy, please put this
they need the courage too.
Yeah, for sure. And he gave you proof right there. All right, let me see your outfit. What do you got on there?
I'm trying to get it untangled, so.
Well, this one's look at all the.
It's really tangled up now. I do have more to say.
And why did you choose that one?
Why did you choose this one? I know you're tangled, but why did you choose it?
Because I love this one.
So that these are the types of dresses she would wear to her appointments.
She actually wore that one for one of her
This
appointments.
is amazing. This how excited they are about all of this. It's hard to believe
guys, I can't even hear him,
what's
please.
going on the other side of this. It really is. I mean, as heavy an issue as you kind of just walk through. It's amazing. This is such a heartwarming story. I'm so glad to have you on here today.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you for having me, and thank you for sharing our story. We're excited to share it, and excited to see what's to come with Costumes for Courage. And we hope that if anybody hears this and they know of somebody, or they have a child that is facing a challenging medical situation, it doesn't have to be chemotherapy. We hope that they reach out. So the website address is www.costumesforcourage.org.
Okay, and then any Facebook page or Instagram?
Yes, we are on Facebook. It's at Costumes for Courage.
And their Facebook has
and Instagram is also at Costumes for Courage.
And their Facebook has a PayPal for them.
Excellent.
I'm being helpful.
Excellent. He's getting the donations. That's a good man.
Yeah, and any links.
Look at this chunk of my dress right now.
Wow.
It's supposed to be like straight and like really straight. But when I first get it, mom like at my appointment, mom like I've been on the news with this one before, and before I was, mom had to completely untangle it. Like,
is that one gonna have to go to the dry cleaners?
I wasn't done yet.
Okay, Mason, go ahead.
One more thing to say. Okay, wait. I'm trapped in the dress.
Okay.
You're
now
trapped
you
in
need
the
to-
dress.
Yeah. During that time, I was really in the Pokemon and the game.
Look at mom. She got her hands full.
During that time, I was really.
Guys, you gotta let him finish up, okay? Remember, this is recorded.
All right. Did he want to say something? Let him
Have
say it
anything
right
to
there real
add?
quick.
Go
What
ahead.
did you have to add, Mason? Go ahead.
Well, Costumes for Courage is just awesome.
It is awesome. I agree. Well, Courtney, this is an amazing story. I'm so happy to be able to share in it and put the word out on what's going on over there. This is wonderful.
Thank you.
The positive attitude is contagious. So,
Thank you.
You just left your mark. More episodes on demand. Just click Leave Your Mark with Vince Cortese.